This game has given me so much, and it's allowed me to pursue a dream that I've had as a kid. With that being said, it's also given me a platform. When I don't just speak for Donovan Mitchell. I speak for African Americans and minorities in general, because I need to use my platform to address certain things that, kids may not have those same voices. Yes, it's a dream to go out and make the NBA. That doesn't excuse you of being black. There's so many other things that need attention right now, as opposed to be honest with you, who wins game 4. But duty calls and you go to work. But I also feel like we have an obligation as a league and as players to go out there and make sure that what we're playing for, which is a championship, is understood, but we're also playing for something way bigger than a championship this year.
Adidas is launching a new campaign called Ready for Change. So what can you tell us just about that and how you see it making an impact?
I'm excited. I think Adidas has done a great job with this, and obviously I'm blessed to be a part of it, just to continue to create that conversation, to have that conversation, the uncomfortable one that we've been kind of avoiding for a very long time. And I think with recent events, obviously it's been one that was forced, that conversation. I think it's a good thing. I think it's something that needs to be continually talked about, continually acted on, and not just by Black athletes, but by white athletes, I think, and white, not even athletes, but people as a whole. Black people and white people need to have this conversation and just let people know, like, look, this has been going on for so many years, and now we're ultimately fed up with it and tired of it. And I think that's what, I think the Ready for Change is, because in order for a change to happen, you have to be uncomfortable. Once the game starts, obviously the media and this shift will change to who had 30, who got hurt, who won game 6, who won game 4, who got swept. Like those are gonna be all the topics of conversation, which will then turn to us, for us to be like, look, it's great that I had 30 points, we won the game, whatever, but this is the message and this is what it needs to be about. And I think that's one of the biggest things that are going to be on us as players, and continue to have the messaging on our jerseys, on the court, interviews, commercials. Like, I think it needs to be the forefront of everybody's brain, because this isn't something that'll just go away in a month, 2 months, 3 months. Like, this is something that needs to change for good. Because I think, it's because they were tired of it. It's something that's just been, for my whole life and my mom's whole life, my grandparents' whole life, it's been like this for generations. And I think it needs to just, I don't think it needs to come to a stop.
Absolutely. I think everybody's ready for that shift, and this is one of those monumental times where you could feel it shifting, The other big issue, of course, at hand, and the reason you guys are obviously in Orlando to begin with, is the coronavirus pandemic that's been taking over the country. You, of course, had it originally as one of the first guys. Just now that it's been a couple months, how are you feeling, and just what message do you have for fans and people about what that process and experience was like?
I was blessed to not, have any symptoms. I think people need to understand that this isn't something to be played with or toyed with. And I think just continue to wear a mask. And it's something as simple as just wearing a mask. Like, we're not asking of much, and I think we got to give a big shout out to workers on the front line, got people who have been sacrificing their time from their families, sacrificing their lives, really, of catching this virus. You got to be selfless in this whole thing. And that's, it's crazy that that's a tall task to ask, but like, that's really what you got to think about. Not just yourself, you got to think about others.
Donovan rises, fires. Oh, Donovan! Oh, Donovan! Oh, Donovan!
Now that you're down in Orlando, I know you got to be super hyped to be wearing the Don 2 and debuting it in practice the other day. Just how excited was it to finally get to play in those?
Honestly, it's been incredible being able to have a shoe where, add my little tweaks to it, and kind of help me perform in an even better way, comfort, speed, agility, a little bit of springs, but I think that honestly, just being able to have the colorways, have the technology inside of them, just being able to be and call it my own, I think is something that's really pretty special.
I understand you got the Don 2s right next to you as well. Can you, any chance you could show us those and point out maybe some of your favorite elements?
All right, so we got them right here. This Don issue 2. This is the Mind Over Matter, black and white. It actually says on the inside, Mind Over Matter, with the logo on the back. I think it's pretty dope. I love the spider in the back. It kind of pops and it shows the logo. So this one from Spider-Verse, this is obviously whenever he kind of has his little spidey sense, it goes off, and that's on the tongue. Obviously, I like it because it's a neon feel it's I like shoes that pretty much stand out on the court. I'm not a really subtle guy when it comes to shoes.
Donovan attacking through the defense to the window. 31 for Donovan. Man, oh man alive, Donovan Mitchell.
You know, with the Crayola one, which was different, was, you know, obviously my mom's a teacher, she's in school, but it kind of bridges the gap between education and sports, you know, understanding that kids at an early age, like this is where it starts. You know, it starts at the Crayola stage. You're in kindergarten, coloring and drawing, you know, and that's kind of like, in a little way, reflective of like my career. You're at the beginning stages, you know, obviously year 3, and now you're starting to go up. That's the goal, to continue to trend upward and continue to improve each year and year. I really enjoyed just kind of bringing different colors to the game, you know, and kind of bringing different themes to the game. And then also, on a more serious note, I think it allows for kids to understand that, you know, like I said, the educational piece, you know, you can be the greatest basketball player, you can be the greatest architect, whatever, but at the end of the day, it all begins and ends with school. And then you got my favorite, the camp shoe. Take the sole out so you can kind of see what all the messages is, but you kind of got all the craziest colors kind of all in the one. On the tongue it says, you know, it says backwards, but it says let him hate, you know, just continuing that kind of vibe. Right here, actually, you know, there's different things, different messages that kind of have, you know, obviously you have, let me see, inconsistent is so many different things.
Just a gunner.
Realize his limits, just a gunner. There's a lot of things. We literally did a great job, and shout out to everybody who had a part in it. We literally went to all the things and kind of put it all in my shoe, just a constant reminder to myself.
The NBA has done a tremendous job.
I'm speechless at how safe they made this place and pulled this off, and hopefully we can, you know, pull it off all the way through crowning a championship. Now
that it's been just a week in the bubble, just how's life in there been, and what's that experience been like?
It's different. NBA has done a great job, man, of being able to pull this off, you know, in what, 3.5, 4 months maybe. I think that's very impressive, and I gotta give them a shout out. And now it's up to us to go out there and perform.
What's the mindset just being in that bubble with the guys and heading into the playoffs in such a unique circumstance?
Kill. To be honest with you, like that's honestly the biggest thing, and I don't mean that just for myself. I mean that for my team as well. It's going to be tough. It's going to be one of the hardest championships to win, and I say that from a standpoint where there's no home court advantage. You know, I think the biggest thing, you get tired of your teammates after a while. You get tired of being around the same people, like, and I mean that in like you're in a bubble, like you were with them all the time. Like I'm pretty sure Joe Ingles is tired of me right now. I'm annoying him all day. Like you got to think, like I'm 23, he's 31, like I'm annoying him all day, but like I mean that in a joking way. I don't mean that like in a serious way, but like at the end of the day, the most connected team is gonna win. And being able to understand that we're all doing this for one goal and being able to be locked in and kind of just be one, I think that's gonna be the ultimate challenge. That's why I say this is the hardest championship